The perfect storm is brewing for altcoins. Let me explain why, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some concrete numbers of what I expect altcoins to do in terms of return on investment. Okay, so let's get into the perfect storm here. You can see two charts. This is the Bitcoin dominance, the white line, and the green line, that's the others dominance. So the Bitcoin dominance just tells you the market share that Bitcoin has in the total crypto market. At the moment, it's at 58%. That means that if you combine all the market caps of all the cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Bitcoin equals 58% of that. So if the market is at $1 trillion, Bitcoin is at 580 billion, 58%. So the others dominance, that's the same thing, but instead of Bitcoin's market cap, it looks at the combined market cap of all the altcoins below top 10 ranked by market cap. So it looks at the combined market cap of all small and medium-sized altcoins. And it's at 10%. So it means that the top 10 coins in the crypto market make up roughly 90% of the total value in the crypto market. And why do I care about these two indicators? Well, it seems like we're repeating 2021 and 2017. And I don't know if you were here in 2021, but it was insane. Altcoins were exploding left and right, 10x here, 10x there. Then, of course, it crashed like a rock after, but it was really fun when it was going up. So, and those of us who managed to trade it made huge returns. And I think we might get a repeat. So we better get ready. And so you can see the Bitcoin dominance. When that goes down, this is 2021. When that goes down, it means that Bitcoin is losing market share. Let me just make it painfully clear. This right here, this is the 2021 mania phase. The Bitcoin dominance crashed from roughly 70 down to 40%. And that means that altcoins gained a lot of market share. Altcoins outperformed Bitcoin by far. And this was also at the same time when Bitcoin price was going up. So Bitcoin was going up, but altcoins were exploding. And we can also see that small altcoins, the dominance of the small altcoins went up. It actually went from roughly 5% all the way up to 20%. That doesn't sound like a big deal, going from 5 to 20%. But in terms of price, the average return for small and medium-sized altcoins in this period was 17x. The average small and medium-sized altcoin went 17x. Think about that. In the span of 8 to 12 months. That's insane. And most altcoins don't do anything. So it means that the winners at this time just exploded. That's where you found the Polygon, 100x. You got Solana, went like 50x at the time. And Axie Infinity just exploded like 100x. It was totally insane. And at the moment, it looks like we are about to repeat this thing. Because the Bitcoin dominance is really high. And it is up against major resistance and likely to start declining soon. Maybe not crash like it did this time, but at least go down. And the others dominance has reached the yellow support line, which goes back all the way to 2017 and is likely to start a rally. Again, maybe not as big as this one, but at least it looks likely that it's going to increase. I'm getting into the numbers after this. So if the Bitcoin dominance goes down, the others dominance goes up, and the Bitcoin price increases. It means that small and medium-sized altcoins explode in price. So let's get into some numbers of what I think is possible for small and medium-sized altcoins to reach this cycle. So I'm talking mainly 2025. That's when I think it's going to peak. So let's make some assumptions. Let's assume that Bitcoin goes 2.5x this bull market and reaches $150,000. That's the same as a $3 trillion market cap. Again, the market cap, that's just the price per coin times the amount of coins in circulation. So if Bitcoin goes to 150K, we know that it's going to have a market cap of $3 trillion. Let's also assume that the Bitcoin dominance goes down to 40%. That's what it did the last 2 cycles. Actually, it went below 40%. This is the 40% line. Let me just draw it out for you so you can see. So this is the 40% line. We can see that in both 2021, or 22 actually, and in 2017, or actually 2018, we crossed below 40%. Let's just assume that we do something similar and we hit 40%. Then we can calculate the total crypto market cap. Because if Bitcoin is valued at 3 trillion and Bitcoin is 40% of the market, we can just divide 3 trillion by 0.4 and get 7.5 trillion. So the total crypto market cap, if you combine all the market caps of all the coins, it's going to be at 7.5 trillion if Bitcoin goes 2.5x and Bitcoin dominance reaches 40%. Okay, makes sense? Okay, let's also assume that the others dominance reaches 20%. That's less than it did in 2021. So this is conservative still. If it does, then the others market cap, the combined market cap of all the small and medium-sized altcoins, the altcoins below top 10, is going to reach 20% of 7.5 trillion, which is 1.5 trillion. The current market cap of others, small and medium-sized altcoins, is at 200 billion. So that's a 7.5x. So the small and medium-sized altcoin market is going to go from 200 billion up to 1.5 trillion. So the market increases by 7.5x. So the average ROI is 7.5x. And again, most coins don't do anything. They just sit there. Maybe they increase a little bit, go down a little bit. But there will be the altcoins that push the market up. We will have the new Solanas, we will have the new Axie Infinities. Maybe it's going to be FET, maybe it's going to be Sui, maybe it's going to be a meme coin like Brett, or who knows. The best thing to do is to have a diversified portfolio across the entire, all the sectors of the altcoin market, so that you make sure that if the market goes up, your portfolio also goes up, because you're spread across the market. So if the market increases, your portfolio increases. And with an average ROI of 7.5, if you pick some good coins, maybe a 10 to 20x is possible. At least if you actually trade the altcoin cycles as well. Because, let me tell you, this is not some risk-free, just always going up type of move. This looks really fun, but in this, thought I was drawing. In this little downturn, looks like a small thing, right? No, this is May of 2021. The small and medium-sized altcoins crashed by over 80% in this little move. 80%. I remember I was actually studying for an exam to my math degree, and I was sitting at the university, and I got like 4 phone calls at the same time. So I picked up and like, what's going on? And, what's going on? The market is crashing. And I was like, I checked my portfolio, and Bitcoin is down 30% in like 2 hours, and while some of my altcoins went down 80% in a couple of days, and it was just horrible. So although it looks like a nice move, there are some major corrections along the way. And that is an opportunity for trading. And that's where the altcoin cycle trading system comes in, the course that I wrote about. And I have a dashboard that I personally use to trade these altcoin cycles. Again, the cycles are just the times when altcoins outperform and underperform Bitcoin, the Bitcoin seasons and the altcoin seasons. And I have a dashboard with the 3 main indicators that I use to trade these cycles, because I want to be altcoin heavy when altcoins outperform, when the others dominance increases and the Bitcoin dominance decreases. But I want to be Bitcoin heavy when Bitcoin outperforms, when altcoins crash like they did in May of 2021. So this is the dashboard that I give to all the students of the altcoin cycle system. You can see the altcoin cycle indicators. So at the top, I just write a summary every week, because I update this dashboard every week. Write the summary, altcoins are cheap. Try to keep it as simple as possible. And then I just write a little summary of all the 3 indicators. I'm using the altcoin season index, which is this one. And this is a more short-term index or indicator. It just looks at how many percent of the top 50 altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin in the past 3 months. So at the moment, it's at 41, which means that 41% of the top 50 altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin in the past 90 days. And the way we use this is if we are above 75, so if more than 71% of top 50 altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin in the past 90 days, it means that altcoins are expensive and Bitcoin is cheap, because altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin for the last 3 months. And when we are in an altcoin season, we sell our altcoins to buy Bitcoin. And then when it goes back down into a Bitcoin season, which just means that 25% or less of the top 50 altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin, then we sell our Bitcoin and buy back their altcoins. So this is a way to trade back and forth between Bitcoin and altcoins, depending on what season we are in. Because on the way up here, you want to hold altcoins, because that's when altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And on the way down, you want to hold more Bitcoin, because that's when altcoins underperform and they crash in value. So for example, this here is in October of 2023. This rally that you see here, this equates deep in, for example, the sector, decentralized infrastructure networks, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. They rallied by like 7x on average, this sector, at this time. And then they fell back down. And now Bitcoin has been outperforming for like 6 months. But this is turning around. As you can see, we have started moving back up. And I am positioned. I have more altcoins than Bitcoin. And I plan to sell those altcoins back to Bitcoin when we enter the altcoin season. Gradually, of course. My concrete strategy is laid out in the course. So if you're interested in seeing exactly what I'm doing, just buy the course and I'll tell you everything you need to know. So this is the altcoin season index. Super easy to use. Just buy altcoins when it's Bitcoin season, buy Bitcoin when it's altcoin season. It's that simple, actually. Then we have the Bitcoin dominance that I just talked about. I'm going to update this number in a little bit to 58, because that's the new one, and I update it every Sunday. So that's my next task. Yeah, I talked about this when I told you about the perfect storm. I think it's going to go down, which means that altcoins are likely to outperform, which means that altcoins are cheap relative to Bitcoin, because the Bitcoin dominance is high at the moment. Same is true for the others dominance. The others dominance is low, which means that small and medium-sized altcoins are cheap. So every Sunday, I just update this dashboard, and I write a little summary about altcoins versus Bitcoin. And in the course, I tell you exactly what to do depending on that summary and these charts. So if you're interested in the course, it's heavily discounted at the moment. You're getting 75% off. Go check it out. Click the link below this video. That's it. Thank you for watching. Now go back and read the rest of the email. Have a great Sunday.